I mean, that's the bottom line. Chrysler, the same thing. And he and the internationalist aluminists that he represents are going to move everything offshore. We have got to have tariffs. It's the only thing that's going to save America. Tariffs. And if we don't get them, we're lost.
Here's the question. It's a little confusing. Monday you talked about the third world European countries taking out mortgages payable in Swiss francs, and Merkel knew about it. He also heard that there's a rift between the European and U.S. Illuminati. Is the rift over the European faction wanting to bring in the totalitarian one world government now, whereas the U.S. faction, for whatever reason, is unwilling to move in that direction yet, or the rift being over who leads the one world government? Hello? Bob?
Yes.
You still there?
Yeah.
Did you hear my question?
No.
Why? Oh, you didn't?
No. Please repeat it.
Okay. Let's see. There's a rift between the European and U.S. Illuminati. Is the rift over the European faction wanting to bring in totalitarian one world government? Or is the rift being over who leads the one world government?
The risk is over. The rift is about who is going to lead, and the European contingent says you guys have screwed everything up, and they're right. They did, and they want to run it. And the people in the United States are saying, well, that may be so, but we get the biggest army, and we still have the most power, and we don't want to do that. And that's why I said in today's issue, nothing's going to come out of this G20 meeting in regard to anything concrete about a new currency unit for international trade. China knows that, and Russia knows that, and that's why they're doing swaps, and they will slowly get rid of their dollar positions, as will everybody else. And in spite of deleveraging coming back in, can you hear me all right?
Yes.
Okay. In spite of deleveraging coming back in this year, probably about $200 billion, the dollar's still going down. And if you remember, I don't have the final figure for today, but we hit 89.62 on March the 4th, and we were 85.48 about an hour ago. And the dollar is going back to 71.16. It'll take about probably to the end of the year to get there, maybe a little longer. And also, at that time, in the real market, in bonds, the trading treasuries, the 10-year, which was 2.65 today, will go to around 3.5% yield, which means the bonds will come down. So people who are in bonds out there are finally going to suffer, because this has been the biggest bull market in bonds in history ever. And I think it's going to be over. And that happens to go along with the drop in the currency. And so you can expect those things over the next year. And, of course, you can expect 2,000 or more gold and over $100 in silver as well. Now, these things are going to happen. And, stick with it and buy if you can.
The Russian finance ministry is expecting another outburst of problems in the financial system. The problems are going to be connected with a credit default in the real sector of economy and with the reduction of oil prices. He said that on Tuesday, and the Russian stock indexes collapsed after the minister's statements.
Well, he's probably right. They still have around $358 billion in foreign exchange, and then they have another rainy day oil fund. I think it's got about $150 billion in it. So they've got about $500 billion they can work with. How long will that last? Maybe 3 or 4 years. It all depends on what happens. So Russia's not in that bad a state. They've also put tariffs up, automobiles and some other things. And I wish everybody would put tariffs up to force the U.S. Congress to implement tariffs. That's what's killing America. Cheap goods, cheap services. I just put a piece in on Wednesday on IBM. They're moving everything out of the country. Everything. And they're going to move all their profits to a tax haven in the Cayman Islands. And all their jobs are going to be in India and China and Mexico and so on. Is this an American corporation? I don't think so. It's got to stop. They have to be forced to come back if they want a deal in our market. And it's easy. And it's fair. Screw IBM. And all the other companies like it. And all the internationalists and all the Illuminati. They're not going to get away with this.
Major General Andy Salmon has transferred authority for what will become the multinational division south to U.S. Major General Oates. Most of Britain's 4,000 troops will leave by the 31st of May, the official end of combat date. About 400 will stay after that, either in HQ roles or to train the Iraqi Navy. Your comment?
Well, they're moving them over to Afghanistan, and they're in the Helmandland, I think it is, province, which is the biggest producer of opium. And they're supervising the manufacturing and conversion to heroin and having it shipped out of the country to Europe. That's what they're doing. And, of course, the CIA is assisting MI6 in doing so. They're making what? I don't know, $350 billion a year. That's their job. All the great fortunes of history were made in drugs. Started back in the 13th century, as we know it. And it's not stopped. Probably the biggest killing that the British made were in the early 1800s in India and China, which many, many privateers from the United States were involved in.
And Canadian house prices seem to be holding up. Is there a delay in effect? When will Canada succumb?
Well, if you look at today's numbers in the issue, Canada's fading. And, they export over 80% of what they produce in the United States. The volume has fallen off. They've got killed by free trade and globalization. They're going to get wiped out of all of their industries, just like the United States has, unless everybody puts tariffs up. And they're going to have a hard time. It's not going to be as easy as they think, especially in Quebec, Ontario. And these are going to get hit the hardest. I mean, the maritime provinces have never been anything anyway. And then you've got oil in Alberta and Saskatchewan and farming, and you got a multiplicity of things in British Columbia. And so they'll probably fare better. But Quebec and Ontario are going to get hit hard. And I've been saying this for 10 years. I mean, this is coming. And it's not going to be good for Canada. I get a lot of stuff under the Canada section today. You've got to take a look at it. There's a tape in there as well. And it's the mayor, 88-year-old lady, named Hazel something or other, who's the mayor and has been for, 20 years, in Mississauga, which is in the nearby Toronto. It's where the airport is, and it borders on the lake, etc. And they're debt-free. And she's done a slam-bag job, and she still plays hockey.
Amazing. Anyway, I heard the notification that our hour is over.
Oh,
so,
no.
Oh, time flies when we're having
In
fun.
tempus fugit.
Yeah, see. And we'll be back on Friday, so make sure you come back too, and make sure you tune in tomorrow. Wendy Wilson will be joining you for the full hour. Until then, be safe, take care, and God bless. Thank you, Bob. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.